Welcome. We're live, everybody. Welcome to this little chat about talk to the entities, engaging with entities to create your future. I have a bunch of my friends here with me. We've got Shauna, Tracy, Como, Donna. You know when you're like put on, you're pressured to remember names, and it's like your best friend, and that's the one that you can't remember. So we're here today just to, ask some questions and engage with you guys to see what's up with the entity world and how you can engage with it to create your future, to allow your present to be way easier than you ever thought it could. And to, if you wake up crazy in the morning, what can you do about it? I think that happened to me this morning, or just little things that these guys have, had their own adventures with entities, and they've been using the talk to the entities tools to make their lives a lot easier and have a lot more fun. So let's see. Do you guys have any examples? I don't even know. We didn't really discuss what we were going to talk or like the order of anything, but what questions do you guys have today? Or do you have, go ahead, Shauna, a story or anything?
I had a question come up yesterday. So in regards to the classes, the question was, do you learn how to clear spaces with entities?
Oh my gosh, yes. Well, in the Talk to the Entities intermediate, we really dive deep. Yeah, dive deep into that. But there are lots of tools. Any of the tools that you learn, you can use to clear anything. So you can clear spaces, you can clear land. And by clearing, we're just talking about engaging with entities and offering them a different choice. So you're not like, in the movies, I'm watching a crazy show right now called Evil about like demon possession. And it's so funny because it's really dramatic and like terrifying, which the entity world does not need to be at all, even if you are dealing with demons. But it's more of an empowerment of the entities to give them like space to make a different choice, not just be stuck where they're at in the identity that they're in. So you're not like clearing because they're bad, you're empowering the entity spirit world. And you can do that in houses, you can do that in land that's been like raped or war zones, which I don't know if there's anywhere that there, at some point has not been some sort of war. And a lot of those entities can get stuck in PTSD. They might not even know they're dead. And you going through facilitating and talking to the entities can clear or empower them to get out of the stuck PTSD loop and be able to make a different choice and literally clear that land or that house, basically shift and change the energies and the molecules there so that you can have more ease in your house, or the land can have more ease, or, the people on it, the buildings on it won't be stuck in that constant pattern of distress, despair, PTSD, and all of the people in bodies will be able to have an easier time in those places. Yay. What were you going to say? Go ahead. I don't know how to work the back end here. People are commenting, so sorry if we don't comment. See, I just did something. Yeah, no one can make you feel inferior without your consent. Exactly. How to work this thing. Oh my goodness. What else? Have you guys had experiences with any clearing of entities in your spaces? Go ahead, Tracy.
Oh my gosh. Well, actually, this is also a shout out to you because I reached out to you. I think it was like a week ago, maybe a little bit more than a week ago, and I was telling you that there was something going on with my cat, and you actually gave me a tool, which was to clear entities every morning. So I did have the tool, but I wasn't doing it every morning. And I don't think I've even told you this, but it's made a huge difference. Like massive difference. And I think it's the space I was coming from because I've done the tool clearing, but it was more from reaction, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And this time it was from a total space of like, I just want to change something, and it's just changed so much. And so I went away for 2 days, but I just wanted to like mention like the peace and the space that I had before I left was like unlike anything I had before. I like really got to like enjoy myself while I was away and not like worry about anything. Like, what am I going to come home to? Is she going to be okay? Like, I just knew everything was going to be like totally good. And I just want to thank you so much. And also, I asked for my entity awareness to be more present in my life. And I forgot about that. So I started to get like more depressed. And then my cat's like showing me stuff, and I'm like, what is all this? What's happening? And then I forgot that I asked that.
That is funny.
So
Yeah.
if anybody asks that, try to remember that you did that.
Yes. And I will reiterate, like, just because you're asking for more entity awareness doesn't mean that you're actually depressed. You're just going to be aware of more of what's going on in the entity world. And of course, a lot of the ways that we perceive that is literally their thoughts, feelings, and emotions. So most of the time, you know, we practice in class, like, what do you notice about this entity? So even if you guys all right now want to just like close your eyes, lower your barriers, and just kind of ask like who or what is around, or maybe ask for a practice entity to show up around you, or a family member that you know of, or just an entity that you know that is around, maybe a person entity, the entities that are in your city, like what is the general feeling of that, or what's the general sense? Is it happy? Is it sad? Is it space? Is it calm? And a lot of times, like, especially if you're in a big city, or you have a capacity with facilitating upset, PTSD, you have a capacity and you haven't acknowledged it, you might perceive those things as depression or upset. You might think you are that, however, you're just perceiving it. And then you get to ask a question. So like Tracy was like, oh, gosh, you know, I had asked for more entity awareness and then I started feeling really depressed. And then she took that a step further, which you can always do, like, okay, is this depression actually mine, or am I aware of an entity that's communicating with me? And once you acknowledge that, you get more space and you get to facilitate that entity if you want to, or at least acknowledge that, oh, that feeling isn't actually mine. I'm just aware. I'm communicating with things around me that are letting me know what's going on.
Yeah, oh my God. Thank you for that little exercise just now, because that really helps that distinction between like, this is not me. I'm aware of it. Like, I need to have that a little bit more because these are so familiar. These like depression energies, I'm like so familiar with them.
Yeah.
So it's very easy for me to buy them as mine. And so just taking that, I think it takes me like a minute to clear entities. I don't know, maybe something around that. Just that minute. Like I'm still amazed at how much that creates for me in terms of presence, like for my whole day. Like it kind of like, this is like, I don't know how else it like sets the tone. I don't know how I'll say it, but it kind of like, it changes like the whole day. So I just wanted to add that because it's honestly been so simple. And such a contribution. So thank you so much.
Yeah. And talk about creating your future. Like,
yeah.
Things you create today, it's kind of like using your muscles. Like, what muscles can you build today that's going to create the future body or the future engagement with entities that you would like to have tomorrow? So the more you use it, the more you practice, the greater your future is going to be. And the more magic, like literally magic stuff, can show up. Yeah. Kamal, what about you?
I actually have something I'd like to show you guys, which was a result of, I totally have to, this is the coolest story ever. So I did a talk to the entities with Allison, which she had done like live from Mexico. I attended it online, and she said something about business hours and, like doing them in a more, in a different manner than how I used to be doing them, like in a non-linear manner. And that got me so excited. And since that class, I started doing my business hours like more regularly and having like a lot of fun with it. And one day I was just walking in my room. I literally finished clearing entities and I was walking in my room and I found this coin, and I live in a fort, and this is the coin in. So when Britishers had invaded India, they had these coins, and I literally was found it in my room, like out of nowhere, and I was like, "Oh my god!" And then I asked like Chris, and found some more info, and apparently this is not like their currency. This was like a spirit token that they used to have in their society or whatever. And I was like, this is so cool.
Yeah, that's so cool. What year is it from again? Like
It's from 1717.
17.
Oh my God.
Can you believe it? Like, oh god. And I carry it with me everywhere just as a reminder as like how magical things
That's amazing. So, entities can literally bring you, gifts or spirit coins.
Spirit coin.
Because even this was like, it's like, this isn't exactly currency, but in India, this works because it has like a spiritual significance or whatever. And I was like, wow. And I started, I put it on Facebook and people started messaging me, like, can we buy it from you, etc. And I'm like, no.
Wow. Like, it's better than regular old currency, I think. It's amazing.
Exactly. Yeah. And it also makes sense because I actually live in a fort, and we did clear a lot of stuck soldier entities, in that class and stuff. So this was like when Britishers had come to India, this was the area they had occupied and made their fort in and stuff.
Yeah.
So it just made so much sense. I was like, wow, cool.
Does it get any better? That's so cool. What about you, Donna?
Well, I talk to you so much. Are there any stories that I've told you that stand out? Because there's I've talked to the entities with you a billion times, it seems like, and so many stories. Where do I start?
Yeah. Well, or we can even we have a class coming up, talk to the entities in Vancouver, British Columbia, in Canada at the end of the month. I'm so excited. Live in this beautiful place and online too. This beautiful hotel called the Sylvia on the beach, covered in vines, and there's so many entities there. I'm like, yes. And so you're coming and you're excited to come, and you've taken this class many times before. So
Yeah.
what are you excited about? What's different this time?
Well, so personally, what's different in my world is there's a lot more presence and a lot more demand for presence. In the past, I have really had a lot of coping skills and mechanisms to deal with entities that I'm seeing I developed over lifetimes because blah, blah, blah. But there's a real demand in my world to really face it and step into a greater capacity. So I'm super excited about this class. It has a totally different energy for me just personally. But then the excitement of Vancouver, I'm super American and didn't even get a passport till I was into my 30s. My first trip out of the country was to Vancouver, which is literally across the pond. I had been to Washington State, it's not that far, but it was so exciting for me. I went for an ESB with Dane. Fell in love. Vancouver is so amazing. It was such a magical trip. So I've been there a couple of times, and it's so alive and green. It has these evergreen energies. And I think I even got a SOP session from a gemstone at the market there. It's such a magical place. So I'm really excited to go. And I just will say one more thing and then I'll stop. When the pandemic hit the Americas, Canada and America kind of went to sleep. A lot of people went into hiding and kind of caved in on ourselves, me personally. Some people were amazing. They traveled the world. They went to places that were kind of alive. Allison's one of them. I bought into the fear and kind of collapsed on myself. But people like me and others are starting to wake up. I call into Canada for a project that I do, and Canadians are like, where can we get together again? Americans are like, there's a lot happening on this continent right now that's very exciting. So I'm pumped to go be a part of the awakening of consciousness and the awakening of all these, I think of it like plants. They kind of go dormant for a minute. I can do that really well, go dormant. And then all of a sudden it's time to wake up again. And that's the sense that I have. And my sense is that this class is part of that great awakening. So I wonder who wants to come awaken with us.
That great awakening is great. Yeah, totally. I love that. And man, just speaking about the earth and the different countries and the different places, like when you communicate with entities, or, you know, you get that ping to create more space in the entity world, or just be able to talk to, you literally learn how to communicate with the dead, or things that you can't see, or energies that, you know, help to create and grow the planet and the trees and work with the rivers. There is a whole multitude of, there's a whole entire kingdom, if you will, of different types of entities that you can work with and play with, or have ease with, or say goodbye to, or just allow them. You know, most of the time, if you have a family member, you know, they just haven't been able to communicate to you to say hello, or, you know, I am so grateful for you and I never got a chance to tell you, or just, I'm sorry. Like all of these things, and entities will hang, yeah, they'll hang around for so long, just wanting to tell you, let you know that one thing. And it's really, you know, really easy for us, once we learn how to do this, to have that in our world, to play with the people that no longer have bodies anymore, to engage with the entities that, you know, we have around that are affecting our bodies that we are not acknowledging, and to also be able to go on and play with, you know, spirits of the earth, or whatever else you would, there's lots that you can play with. Donna, what else did you have to say?
Well, I just wanted to say a little bit more about, like, with the land and the Americas kind of being asleep. There's a thing that we talk about in Access every now and again called bioenergetic nurturance. And I always see it like a garden. Like there's different, you know, like the bees have to come along and pollinate and bring energy from other plants. And so I think that, like, I'm like, wow, I wonder who would like to come to Vancouver and bring energy from somewhere else on the planet. Like, I just think there's this great cross-pollination. And then the other thing is, like, just leading up to class, I think it's really important. My dog, my favorite dog in the world, has been talking to me. Every time I take a class, the second I register, like, Sunny Dog has been talking to me so much and giving me so many different, like, love energies and kindness. And that's just when you said the dead people, even your dead animals.
Yes, your dead animals too. And your live animals, like Tracy's cat. You know, cats can have a huge capacity with entities. And when they get too filled up, when they've been, you know, facilitating too many quote unquote entities, or, you know, sucking them out like vacuums, clearing them, they can get sick. That can show up as sick stuff, or skin stuff, or allergy stuff. Same with people. But, you know, you clear those entities for your animals, and they can have so much more ease, calmness, not puking every day.
Yep.
Whatever their entity symptoms are. Yay. Anything else, you guys? Go ahead, Shauna.
Yeah, like I'm super excited that you guys are coming here. Like, so grateful. Like, I know that there is so many entities here, and, you know, I sense that these classes are going to contribute to all entities, like ancestors, the land, like, and where we will be at is pretty close to Stanley Park. And so there's a lot going on, and not just like in Vancouver, but in the world. But to speak to Vancouver, there's a lot going on with, like, the history and, like, you know, Indigenous people and, like, all this stuff. So it's like, I think that we'll be able to do so much work with these classes to change and shift the energy, which will, like, contribute so much to the world. And I was like, really, I'm so grateful that you'll be arriving in Vancouver soon.
Phew. I'm so excited. Yeah, it's kind of like getting a massage when you know, we'll be working in Vancouver. We'll also be online, and, you know, people will be creating and asking questions and facilitating in different parts of their life and our world, but their part of the world. And, you know, when you get a massage, you know, if you work on your shoulder, it helps to unlock things in your back or your neck or your feet or who knows where. But you can't, you know, when you start to release different tension points in your body, your whole body gets to receive. Same with when you do classes wherever you are in the world, you know, the more questions you ask, the more consciousness you choose to play with and be. You being that in your part of the world or coming to a particular point in the world is like giving the whole planet a massage. So how does it get any better? Let's massage the world. So we have Talk to the Entities, Introduction, Beginning, and Intermediate, and a Symphony of Possibilities class on the evening of Saturday, maybe. If you're interested, you can come live to Vancouver, British Columbia, and Canada, or you can come online. So online, live is a choice. We'll all be there live and online. So Como will be online. And yeah, what else is possible, you guys? I'm so excited. Thank you for coming on here with me. I can't wait to listen to this again. And we'll see you next time. Thank you.
Bye.